Hello, my name is Eder, and this is my rebuttal against Eder. I'm going to start with the first point that you pointed out in my constructive, that teachers need to have their annual salaries increased. Well, first you say that if someone is doing a crappy job and getting paid to do a crappy job, they're still going to do a crappy job. The problem with this is that if a teacher is doing a crappy job, students and parents alike both speak up against this teacher to get them removed for doing a crappy job. This happens in any job. I mean, when someone is being reviewed by a higher authority to see if they're doing a good job, but then they find out they're doing a crappy job, they're going to get fired. I mean, not necessarily getting paid more, like you said. I mean, although I'll agree with you that when you say that those who go into the teaching business aren't going in for a higher salary rather than to teach and prepare our students for a much more successful academic life. But now, if teachers were, like, their salaries were more desirable to begin with, you would have a huge influx of teachers trying to get jobs in teaching. And that way, that'd be like a great thing because then you'd be able to pick out the best of the best. And if they got paid more, then even better. They'll be happier and a lot more willing to teach our students like the right way. And by the way, the federal government pays for almost all public education in the United States. I mean, if you gave the power back to local communities, they're still going to have to receive funding from the government because otherwise, where would they get the money from? I mean, the teachers themselves, or the parents themselves. I mean, they're not going to have enough money to pay the teachers and the school faculty at the same time. Now, my second point was that teachers are being laid off and replaced by new ones. And you said that old teachers are not following the curriculum set in place, and that's why the school system is failing. I mean, this is not necessarily true because about 20 or 30 years ago, the U.S. is ranked one of the highest in education, and those teachers were most likely teaching back then. And the curriculum that was taught 20, 30 years ago is still, in place today. So it hasn't really changed, and that can't really be the problem. In my opinion, it's these new teachers being put into place that have little or no experience actually teaching that is causing the grades to drop. Um, Now, for my third point that you pointed out, dropping out should be illegal. You say that dropping out has nothing to do with poverty, and since it is a public school, you don't need to pay to enter. But that, in fact, is wrong. Although you don't have to, you know, pay to enter, but poverty has been proven to be one of the major factors for dropping out. Like I said, you don't have to pay to be let in, but you do have to pay for school supplies and everything that comes along with that. Now, when someone can barely afford to eat or pay for a roof over their head, how do you expect them to pay for their school supplies? The school doesn't give them to them for free. And a lot of times, people drop out of school because they need to get a job to help their family make ends meet for their family, and like school is their last priority. And last, you say that my scare tactic of putting imprisoning students for dropping out is cruel and unusual. Yes, it may be unusual, but it's not cruel. I mean, you also failed to mention my plan to pay students for getting better grades, thus kind of balancing out that poverty uh, scale. Now, I never said that imprisonment was the right thing to do. I said pretty much put them in jail or, jail time. Because prisons are made for more serious crimes like felonies, or more violent crimes and require longer sentencing. And jails is only, the most you're probably going to serve is probably like 6 months to a year. Now, dropping out is already illegal up to a certain age, and that's if your parents agree as well. But I think it would be much more effective to make dropping out of high school completely legal, so everyone can at least have a decent education, and leave high school with a diploma. And after that, it would be all up to them to the individual to decide if they want to continue their education or not. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that, and thank you.